So next is the attribution theory. What is this attribution theory? Let's see. A percentage of our perceptions are derived from what we attribute to the causes of behavior in ourselves or others. That is, whatever has happened, to whom do we attribute the cause of that happening? To ourselves or to others? Attribution theory demonstrates that individuals tend to decide that a behavior is caused by a particular characteristic or event. सो ये एट्रीब्यूशंस क्या होते हैं समटाइम्स इसमें दो टर्म्स हैं जी इंटरनल फैक्टर है और एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर है कि किसे हम मोस्टली एट्रीब्यूट करते हैं कुछ भी हुआ है आपके साथ कोई भी हैपनिंग हुई है कोई भी इवेंट हुआ है तो उसको हम एट्रीब्यूट समटाइम्स इंटरनल फैक्टर को करते हैं समटाइम्स एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर को लेट्स सी हाउ सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ एंड व्हाई वी मेक दीज एट्रीब्यूशंस इज important. This is important for you to understand that how do you make these attributions and to whom do you attribute the cause of the certain happenings, to the external factors or to the internal factors. Because several achievement theories stress that future decisions and behaviors are based more on our perception of why something happened rather than on the actual outcomes. Okay, because this is being said that if you want to see if you want to evaluate a professional, this is important for you to first of all understand and to assess that individual, that how does he see the things and to whom do he or she attribute the causes of the happenings. Because actual outcome या actual happening भी important है, लेकिन सबसे पहले क्या important है, to see our perceptions of why something happened. कि हमारी परसेप्शंस क्या होती हैं कि हम किसे एट्रीब्यूट कर रहे होते हैं, किसे हम उसका जिसको हम कहते हैं कि हम उसे किसे उसका जिम्मेदार ठहरा रहे होते हैं कि किसकी वजह से ये हुआ, टू द इंटरनल फैक्टर्स और टू द एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स. इट इज आल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट to evaluate whether these judgments are attributed more to internal or external factors. And this is also important to see कि most of the time किसे हम attributions दे रहे होते हैं, ये internal factors को दे रहे होते हैं या external को दे रहे होते हैं. Attributing outcomes to controllable factors tends to be a stronger indicator of future behavior than attributing them to uncontrollable factors. Next thing that is important to understand is if you tend to attribute outcomes to controllable factors, that is a stronger indicator of future behavior than attributing things to अनकंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर्स. क्योंकि अगर आप कंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर्स को मोस्टली एट्रीब्यूट करते हो कॉजेस, तो ये एक स्ट्रॉन्गर इंडिकेटर है क्योंकि कंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर्स को आप कंट्रोल करके इंप्रूव कर सकते हो. लेकिन अगर आप अनकंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर्स को एट्रीब्यूट कर रहे होते हो, दैट इज काइंड ऑफ एन एस्केपिज्म, बिकॉज अनकंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर्स आर नॉट इन योर कंट्रोल एंड यू कुड नॉट ब्रिंग, दैट मीन्स दैट यू कुड नॉट ब्रिंग एनी इंप्रूवमेंट इन दैट. यू आर अ हेल्पलेस फेलो. So, for example, उन्होंने example दिया that if a person attributes the loss of a job to internal or controllable factor, कि अगर किसी की the person has been fired from a job or he loses a job, तो वो अगर उसे उसका attribute उसके outcomes करता है to controllable factor or to internal factors, तो he or she might feel shame, which may have could have one of two effects: hampering attempts to get a new position or pushing the individual to become a more effective employee in the future. So most of the time this happens that if the person get to know about his own problem, instead of blaming the external factors or the outside world, if he would see that what was the wrong with him or her, then that would help him to be a better or effective employee in the future. But if he or she blames the job loss on an external or uncontrollable factor, so it may lead to anger, it may lead to distress, it may lead to frustration, because that is something which is uncontrollable, which is not in his control. And perceptions in turn determine behavior in future situations based on the amount of personal control those involved believe they have over the situation. So this is important for you first of all for as an individual to get to know कि आप mostly किन चीज़ों को attribute कर रहे होते हो, जो भी आपके साथ happening हुई है good or bad, तो most of the time आप किसे उसको outcome किसे attribute करते हो, to the internal factors or external factors, and how keeping a balance between both of these is very much important, or assessing the real cause or reason of that particular happening, how much that is important. So getting to know your own patterns of attributions is very much important. The accuracy of our attributions is because they may impact our future actions positively or negatively. Yet personal biases have an impact on making attributions. So this is important to be accurate in your attributions, because that's going to that's going to have an impact on your future, either in a positive or in a negative way. And we also need to understand our own personal biases, that how do they affect our attributions. Our own behavior or perceptions of ourselves has an impact on attributions. हमारा अपना behavior और जैसे हम खुद को हमारे क्या perceptions हैं वो भी impact करते हैं attributions पे, कि हम कहते हैं कि नहीं जी हम तो बहुत ही अच्छे हैं और ये हमारी वजह से नहीं हुआ. अगर यू आर अनेबल टू बी बीइंग हायर्ड तो आप ये बोलोगे कि दैट वाज नॉट सो. जी सिफारिश वाला कल्चर है और द पीपल मेक यूज ऑफ द रेफरेंसेस और द पीपल हैव बीन बायस्ड, दैट्स व्हाई दे हैव नॉट selected me, otherwise I am the perfect individual for that job, and blah blah blah. So the self-serving bias causes us to overestimate internal factors for successes and blame external factors for failures. So self-serving bias next term में which is important. self-serving bias क्या होता है कि अगर हमारे साथ कुछ अच्छा हुआ है तो हम कहेंगे दैट इज ड्यू टू अस, और अगर कुछ बुरा हुआ है तो हम कहेंगे दैट इज ड्यू टू अदर्स. इफ यू आर नॉट बीइंग हायर्ड यू वुड से दैट इज ड्यू टू द अनकंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर्स आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड, बिकॉज द पीपल आर बीइंग बायस्ड एंड दे हैड नॉट selected me, they had selected some other individual who had an approach. लेकिन अगर तुम्हारा सिलेक्शन हो जाता है तो तुम बोलोगे कि या आई एम द most suitable candidate, I was the most suitable candidate over there and I had an excellent interview and many other things. So अच्छी चीज़ों के लिए आप internal factors को करते हो attribute, और अगर बुरी चीज़ें हुई हैं तो उसको external factors को. This is called self-serving bias. You need to understand that if you have such kind of a thing in you and if you have this you need to control that. Another bias is related to the fundamental attribution error. एक तो ये bias है जिसमें आप खुद के लिए इंटरनल अच्छी चीजों के लिए इंटरनल फैक्टर्स और बुरी चीजों के लिए एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स, और दूसरा है फंडामेंटल एट्रीब्यूशन एरर which causes individuals to tend to overestimate the impact of internal factors and underestimate the influence of external factors when evaluating the behavior of others. So what happens that when something good happens to others you would say that that was due to the outside factors, that was due to the external factors. उसमें तो इतने guts ही नहीं है, ये बस वो सिचुएशन बड़ी अच्छी थी या लोग बड़े अच्छे थे जिसकी वजह से ही वाज बीइंग हायर्ड. और अगर वो द पर्सन हैज नॉट बीन हायर्ड और द पर्सन एनकाउंटर्स फेलियर तो तुम बोलोगे कि जी वो तो था ही निकम्मा, तो उसकी तो हायरिंग हो ही नहीं सकती थी. सो दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड सेल्फ सर्विंग बायस, फंडामेंटल एट्रीब्यूशन एरर एंड योर ओन पैटर्न्स ऑफ मेकिंग एट्रीब्यूशंस के वो क्या है. And particularly but this is important because we are dealing with interpersonal skills with relation to professions and professional working environments. That's why all the time you would encounter such examples कि वो फिर एक authority figure की बात करते हैं कि if you are an authority figure, you are a manager, so this is important for you because you are in an authoritative position and you are making decisions about others' lives and about others' careers. So this is important, being a manager, that you need to evaluate both internal and external factors before jumping to conclusions. Before making decisions, see all the pros and cons and to evaluate both the internal and external factors and try to understand your own patterns of making attributions. The next is others' perceptions. So self-awareness is also gained through understanding how others view us and understanding how we are shaped by others' opinions of us. So it is important to see your own perceptions and to your own expectations and to your own attitudes. But apart from that, you also try to gain others' opinions about your own self, and this is called social mirror. Stephen Covey की term है social mirror. And Covey explains that we gain perceptions of ourselves as a result of what other people say about us or how they react to us. If you see, you would honestly see, and then you would say that most of the time, yes, we are being affected by others' opinions of us or the way that other people have reacted to us. And we also adopt a view of ourselves based on other people's views. कि जो लोगों के views होंगे हमारे बारे में mostly हम भी खुद को वैसे ही देख रहे होंगे. How do others view us? How do we change our actions as a result of what we think others are thinking about us? और कैसे हम दूसरों के लिए अपने एक्शंस भी चेंज कर सकते हैं बेस्ड अपॉन ओनली द थिंग द वे द अदर्स थिंक अबाउट अस, कि वो क्या कहते हैं, वो कैसे हमारे बारे में सोचते हैं. Okay, now we would see how this is important to know others' perceptions, but not to be very much not to be dominated by others' perceptions of us, but anyways try to see others' perceptions of ourselves as well as assess them, but not to be dominated by them. The social mirror is based on our memory of how others have reacted towards us or treated us. So most of the time we do remember what the other people have said to us, what the way the other people have treated us or reacted to us. And through feedback from others, we can gain more insight or perspective into aspects of ourselves and behaviors. And this is also important to gain the feedback from others about our own characteristics, about our own selves. But you need to understand कि वो कितना honest feedback था, and don't rely totally upon that feedback. However, our potential may not be based accurately on this information. The social mirror can be wrong or only partially correct. जरूरी नहीं है कि social mirror or the way the people see us or the whatever they say about us that could be correct all the time. We need to be able to assess that too. However, this is the point is that the social mirror or the others' perceptions help us in gaining our self-awareness. Negative self-statements can be very damaging to one's esteem. Yes, because here they also say कि अगर कोई इंडिविजुअल ने किसी वक्त तुम्हारे बारे में कुछ ऐसी बात कह दी है, कोई ऐसी टर्म कह दी है, मे बी योर पेरेंट्स हैव सेड दैट यू विल नेवर अमाउंट टू एनीथिंग, कि तुम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, तो वो हमारी सेल्फ एस्टीम के लिए डैमेजिंग भी होती है, एंड दैट इज वेरी मच डिफिकल्ट टू डिस्पेल दिस इमेज ऑफ योर ओन सेल्फ. So sometimes this also happens. For that matter, you need to understand, gain an understanding about your own self in order to see that how much the others' evaluations are right or wrong. If you don't know about your own self and you utterly rely upon others, then that will be difficult for you. But you shouldn't accept everything that others say to you as a reality. Anyways, gain others' perception, but don't rely on them completely. The next point is self-disclosure. Another means of gaining self-awareness is through self-disclosure. Self-disclosure क्या होता है? Sharing your thoughts, feelings and ideas with others without self-deception, without distortion. That is that you are able to share your own thoughts and feelings and your ideas with the person whom do you trust and you rely upon, but you are sharing with them each and everything without self deception and without distortion. Because sometimes ऐसे होता है कि हम शेयर करते हुए भी डंडी मार जाते हैं और हम अपनी मर्जी की इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करते हैं, और जो जिसमें हमारा इंटरेस्ट नहीं होता या जो हमारे गैं से आ रही होती है हम उसको छुपा जाते हैं. और समटाइम्स सेल्फ डिसेप्शन, द वे वी हैव मेड दैट स्टोरी, तो हम उस स्टोरी को वैसे ही शेयर कर देते हैं द वे वी हैड सीन दैट. सो दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू शेयर इट एज इट इज objectively as possible if you wanted to gain self awareness. Self disclosing is a key factor in improving our self awareness. Yes, that is very important. That help us in our self improving, gaining more self awareness. We must disclose information and interact with others to further clarify our perceptions. If we want to, yes, we have made an attempt to gain self awareness through the various processes that we had discussed earlier, but you had also done this self disclosure thing in order to gain more, to further clarify more your self perceptions. That's important thing. The next thing that could help you out in gaining self-awareness is diverse experiences. What is this? That is acquiring multiple experiences in diverse situations and with diverse others. If you have been to different situations with different people and you have encountered different experiences, that would actually make you to get to know about your own selves, about your own skills, and because as we encounter new situations, we use skills and find new ones, meet people, and learn firsthand about things and we might have only read about. So gaining diverse experiences is also a key to gain self-awareness. Next, this is a summary and that's the end of our topic. So we are done with the self-awareness topic. Thank you. If you would be having any queries, you may ask me. Thanks for today.